Anjali.
Terry.
I think it's my turn to ask a question. Do you find that often people have objectives that aren't really objectives in themselves, but are really a means of getting away from something else?
I think that's a very interesting question, and some sort of a question that really sparks a level of introspection, which we often don't do.
That's certainly true, because so often I've found that sometimes I, and certainly others, really want to get away from something rather than move towards something.
Right, and I think if the motivation for doing something towards aiming an objective or trying to achieve something, if the motivation for that is to avoid something that you really should be dealing with, then the experience may not be the one that will be enriching.
Right, you've raised yet another level of the problem. One needs to understand what it is one wants to get away from, and what it is one wants to move toward.
Right.
Those are often two very different questions.
Right, and I feel like the former is often the most difficult, which is what do you want to get away from?
Right. That's a very difficult problem for a lot of people, and certainly for me sometimes. And I find that so often people just get busy rather than trying to resolve an internal problem or an issue, rather than face what it means to draw this conclusion or to find this part of oneself that's in pain. It's just easier to be busy.
Right, and I'll give you an example. For instance, if one is having an argument at home and they just don't want to deal with that argument for valid reasons,
Who
they
wants
go
to
out,
argue? Yeah.
take a walk in the park, and meet someone that maybe is able to offer a solution that led to that argument in the first place.
Right, it's an outside point of view.
Exactly.
It's something other than being caught in the context of what
Right.
you're doing right now.
Right, so what I'm saying is that not necessarily going off track is a bad thing. Sometimes going off track brings back another perspective. It brings back solution that we would have never even imagined.
Right. There's kind of an assumption that staying on track is the right thing because it gets you to where the track is going. But it also restricts you to being in the track.
Right. But one must always be aware of where they're heading. What's the ultimate destination?
Right. Knowing where it is you want to get to. Not being so concerned about what the immediate means is. I think that's a very wise point. Thank you.
Thank you.